Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cradle-Con 2024. You're not here to see me or listen to me. Welcome the cast of Revenge of the Nerds. Robert Carradine, Curtis Armstrong, Brian Tochi, Don Gibb, Julia Montgomery, and Andrew Cassese.
Hi, everybody. Wow. Wow, this is quite the impressive theater.
Oh, don't want to brag. It's the third biggest planetarium in the nation. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
You know, it's a
very cool.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm not going to say much on behalf of the crowd because I want them to ask and speak for themselves, but I think I can say this. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Us, yeah.
We appreciate it as an institution and as fans of you and this movie.
Is this working?
Yes. That redefined the meaning of nerd.
There you go.
Ogre, 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 ogre. Nerds, 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 nerds.
Yay!
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that one.
What a bunch of goddamn nerds.
I mean, come on. Doesn't that get you? You're an ogre, say nerds. Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
He became one of us, though.
Yeah.
He became a nerd.
Is this one on too?
Oland the truest, he was the newest one of you. I think that was how it started, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start off with just a little bit of background and just ask you, when you first started the movie, where were you in your life and how did it change your life? All right, from
When we first saw it?
when you first started, wherever you want to go from.
I got a haircut, that's where it started.
All right, it worked.
A fairly short haircut.
Very short. No tears?
But,
Can I talk to you on the microphone or should I talk to you like in your ear?
you should wait a
I
second.
wanted to tell you that my daughter, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still talking, man.
I'm sorry, sir.
Stand up for yourself.
I know
that's
my
right.
place.
Yeah, good. No, so anyway, when the movie came along, the script came along, Revenge of the Nerds, I'm thinking, man, Revenge of the Nerds? I don't want to play a nerd, no way. And my agent insisted that I go meet Jeff Canoe, our director, so I went and met him. We sort of hated each other on sight, so I thought, okay, well, that's that. And then they called back a couple of weeks later and said they really want you to come in and audition. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to show these guys. So I got my hair cut really short. And I got the nerd glasses at this optometrist shop that didn't have nerd glasses. When I told him what I wanted, he had a box of engineering glasses in the back of his shop, which is glasses I wore in the movie. And I go in there to meet these people, and they come out and they look in the hallway. They look one way and then the other, and they go back in their office. And they do this 2 or 3 times, and finally I say, hey, I have a meeting at 2 o'clock. What's going on? And they're like, Robert? I said, yeah. And they go, come on in. And that was that.
Nice.
Did you get it?
Yes, yes, I got it.
Okay, good. Thank God. Curtis has a great story.
I'll do one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Curtis has a great story.
Great story.
Oh,
It's
now-
from his book, because he has a great book.
Yeah,
but
Great.
what is the story? I didn't think I had a story.
No, there's a story, but you're getting.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that part, yeah. Yeah, they had me in, I had just done Risky Business, which was my first film. And so they had me into audition, and they said that it was for the part that Anthony Edwards played. And they said Bobby was going to be Lewis. And I was really excited because Bobby. And so I went in and read for it, and then they told me that I didn't. I heard from my agents I didn't get it. Anthony Edwards, whoever that was, he was the one who got it. So then I get a call saying they would like to see you for one of the other nerds. And so I started looking at the script to figure out which other nerd they might be wanting me for. And I figured out, well, it's not Takashi. And it isn't Larry B. Lamar. It's not his nerd. And it can't be Wormser, which left it down to the one Tim Busfield played, or Booger. And I called up my agent, and I said, okay, here's the deal. I will go in, but if they cast me as Booger, I'm not going to do it, because it's beneath me. I have trained to be a professional actor. I have played Shakespeare, and I'm not going to pick my nose and belch for people because it's below me. So I auditioned, and they came back and they said, okay, they offered you Booger. So I said, all right, I'll take it. And that was it. That was how that happened. I was Booger forever.
Immortal.
I have to say, for those people who know Curtis, he really kind of lives his life the antithesis of Booger. I mean, he is a trained Shakespearean actor.
See?
Yeah, what? No, he was talking about me, Don. We haven't gotten to you yet. We haven't gotten to you yet.
I told them in the contract that they talked to me the entire time, and you guys just sit there and cheer.
Well, Don, you have to get off your phone if you want to talk.
Okay, all right. I get it.
But now, before Don, we're going to hear from Julia.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Oh my God.
I'm Scott.
Okay. Okay, how do I do this?
You talk into this.
Okay. What a fun crowd. Hi, guys.
Yay! You guys are great! Yay!
Okay, so my audition story is that I've pretty much just gotten to Los Angeles and had a couple auditions and then got this role and went in to meet with Susan Arnold, I think it was.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. I remember that name.
Okay. And so I had the script, but I don't know if any of you all noticed, but Betty doesn't have a ton of lines. I mean, you can differentiate her from Booger, but there's not a lot of dialogue. But I read this script with Susan, and she's like, that was great, read it just like that, and I'm having you back whenever. And I'm like, okay. But it was like, I wasn't doing anything with it. And this is the interesting thing about me and Betty. I really didn't relate to Betty. I mean, I'm a decent actress, and so I know how to be a bitchy sorority. But
You did that well.
But the truth is, I'm much more of a nerd at heart. And seriously, anyway, that's all I want to say. That's all I want. But it's true. It's true. I really relate to the nerds. I think the whole point of this movie is that there are things within all of us that feel unaccepted and all that. And so, literally, those were real tears at that scene when the nerds did their speech. And
Yeah.
I love being in this movie, and I love, anyway. Thanks.
Yay!
Well, maybe
We even let Julia sit in the middle of me. She's like crying.
Yeah. We love to sandwich Julia here.
Lucky me.
Yay!
That didn't sound right.
No, good point. Good point.
It's not the 80s anymore.
You're right. Yeah, we couldn't do nerds this day and age, but we did in the 80s.
Yeah, you did.
Away with it.
Thank goodness. And so for me, it was a real simple thing, is that they were looking for an Asian character. Yeah, and it was a stretch. But actually, at the time, MASH had a sequel with Jamie Farr and the girl that played his wife, Rosalind Chow, and they had it at 20th Century Fox, but they're coming off of MASH. It was just a spin-off. And so Susan Arnold, she said to Rosalind Chow, "Do you know any Asian actors?" And I'd done my first TV series was at 20th Century Fox. She played my sister with Yul Brynner. We did the version of The King and I, and so on CBS. But so she says, "Well, there's only one guy I know." Like she didn't know any other Asians, right? And she says, "There's this guy Brian Tochi." So I boned up on my Asian accent which is now sounding a little bit more Yiddish as I get older. And so I read, and I can't believe it. They actually offered me the role. And I have to say that Revenge of the Nerds, of all the different things that I've done, I know everybody here has done all sorts of different things, was absolutely the best experience of my life. And what really validates that is the fact that I'm sitting on a panel of people who I just adore and love to this day. And I just want you to know that you know, it's a special thing, and I'm just so happy I went to that audition. I'm so happy I got it, and I'm so happy that I still am friends with these people who I respect and adore. Just that about it.
Yeah. We love you, Brian.
No, love you, Don.
I know you do.
No, I agree. We have a nice little chemistry, and it's great to see you guys all the time. We haven't seen each other since. I haven't seen you guys since COVID, really.
Right.
Before.
And so it's been a long time. But my audition was pretty straightforward. I was an actor. I had been acting for about 3 years at that time. I was doing stage work and a lot of commercials, and I'd never done a film. But I got called in by my agent for this thing. I met Jeff Canoe and read for him, and we hit it off really well right off the bat. And I felt really good about it. I felt like I think I came in a few more times to read, but I felt like, this is going really well. And so, but you know, didn't have to do a lot of acting, honestly, because that's my real hair, those are my real teeth, those are my glasses. I was the legit package. I had the legit credentials, so I think that might have had something to do with it too.
They know you're a nerd, but you don't.
They knew I knew what being a nerd meant.
Yeah.
And Don?
Me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Don is
I fell asleep. So my story goes, I went in there, I read for them, and they said, now you're reading for the role of Takashi, right? And they said, can you do like a little bit of an Asian thing? And I'm also sorry, I'm Asian. And they said, Brian Tochi's going to do that role, don't you worry, go home. So then they called me up and they said, we have this role of ogre. And I said, well, I can play that one. Football player. And they said, you're so incredible as an actor that we probably would like you to play all the roles. And I said, no, I can't do that. I want other actors to get money and work. You guys believe in that?
Kind of you.
I didn't think so. So I'm full of shit. And, sorry about the bad word. But yeah, they didn't even really want to hire me because I was a stuntman. I was a stuntman, so they were like, I wonder if he can even talk. And I thought, yeah, I think I can, But yeah, I was a stuntman and went in there, and finally the guy calls me back and he goes, you know what, they love you, man, but you look too old with that beard. They go, could you shave the beard? And I go, yeah. So I got down there and I had blood running everywhere because I cut myself like 14 times. So I had pieces of tissue and thing there, and they were kind of looking at me like, what the hell happened to you? I fought a bear coming here. That's how I got the role. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
You guys buy that one?
Yeah, we buy that one. We buy it.
You guys buy that one? Yeah. You're dumber than I am.
So it's been 40 years, but I imagine you have kind of like a core memory, something during the filming that sticks with you as your favorite moment during the filming of the movie, or maybe just after it was released. What's a happy memory that you have of that time? That's special.
I have none. They're all bad memories.
No, they're not. No, we had, it was a group of people that really did connect, really pretty much instantly. And we were in Tucson, Arizona, in a hotel room,
There were several hotel rooms, a few hotel rooms.
Yes, there were.
We didn't
weren't all in
share
one
quite
hotel room.
We were in my room.
Yeah, and so we did a lot of partying.
Yes.
And that was memorable. It's sort of memorable.
When did you guys party?
Every day. Every night.
Single night.
You remember that, Don. You were there.
I don't remember.
But you know what's weird?
Maybe I wasn't
This
invited.
is a good point.
No, you
Curtis.
were always invited.
Yeah.
The thing that was weird about it was that instantly, just by the way it worked, the nerds tended to party together as a unit. And the alpha betas tended... Who's talking now? Yeah, well, no, well, yeah,
I wanted
but
to party with you
I
guys.
have something
you
to
went
say,
off
Jeff.
on the, you went off with the motorcycle group,
Thank you.
you know. and- but
Where was I?
You, that was, what I was trying to say, before I was interrupted,
I know.
was that Julie, as technically an alpha beta, would party with the nerds, while as Michelle Mayrink
Oh, that's right.
would party with the alpha betas.
With the jocks.
The
That's
jocks.
where
That's
she
interesting.
was.
Yeah.
And it was just a weird split. And we did have some times, but it was just...
The nerds partied way better, way harder than any of the jocks could ever do.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Yeah, we did.
But you know, the question
And-
was, what was our favorite scene?
See? Thank you, Robert, for pulling it
Our
back.
favorite memory.
We get sidetracked easily.
Thank you, Bobby, for pulling it back.
Well, my favorite scene, one of them was the panty raid. That was hilarious and fun. But the other one was when Anthony Edwards and I first get to college, and we asked Betty and her buddies, where's a good, she says, are you looking for a sorority house? And we're like,
That's right.
no. Anyhow, I wind up asking her if she wants to have a cup of coffee. And the girlfriend of Betty's is like, ooh. I really love this.
Andrew, you have a...
I mean, I loved, the whole thing is a happy memory. But, you know, you guys partied a lot. I didn't get to see a lot of that stuff, but I did have my birthday on the set, which was a nice happy memory. And I do remember for the partying, there was a party in somebody's room. I don't know, late.
Always a
night.
party.
My mom was there because you have to, as a minor, you have to have somebody with you the whole time. Not the whole time, but like you're
Pretty
there,
much
you're
on
there
the
with
set.
somebody. And I remember Larry at some point, Larry B. Scott took my mom aside and was like, "Oh, Mrs. Cassese, you're not going to want to be here in 15 minutes."
Oh my God.
And and my mom's cool. She was just like, "Got it." And you know, we got out of there, and I'm sure something amazing happened. that night.
Yeah.
That was almost a core memory. I missed it by that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I loved when Jeff Canoe would like give us a new idea. He did that a lot with the nerds. But one night, I was already back at the ranch, at the hotel, whatever. And the phone rings, and I guess it's one of the assistant directors. Hey, Jeff has an idea. Would you mind coming back and said, "No, we're still ready. I'm ready right now." Okay, so we were always so exuberant to do anything and everything, especially with Jeff. I thought it was great. Who didn't get along with Jeff? You said you didn't. That's a joke.
No,
that was a joke.
No, it was our initial meeting.
You did.
Yeah, I had long hair, and I
Oh.
didn't want to be a nerd, and, you know, I just wanted the meeting to end
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so
I
Jeff.
didn't like the guy.
I love the guy. But Jeff calls me back, and this is a tiny, tiny little moment in the film that maybe no one remembers, but he says, "I want you to run out on the balcony." You'll remember this.
I do.
And it was night, and it was pre-party. I think it was pre the raid, and I'm to run out on the balcony and be sort of mad. I can't remember what he told me, but he told me something. So I ran out on the balcony, and I'm like, "Oh!" And then Robert's like, "You look gorgeous when you're."
No, we love you when
We
you're
love
mad.
you when you're mad. To me, that was so much fun. I mean, it was like the little things.
I like that.
The little things. It was so much fun.
I have a couple of really cool, I mean, it really is a fun movie, and we really did a lot of fun. One of the things that I really just loved is the fact that we had the latitude to kind of work things out, and the things that Takashi did with Booger are, to me, so special, because a lot of the things in the movie that Takashi and Booger are doing were never in the script. For example, like the card scene stuff. Our very first day,
So funny. Oh, God.
our very first day of shooting, we are in this gymnasium and there's cots all around, and each of us are just basically waiting to be shot for that day, and so we're kind of hanging out, and it's very boring on a movie set. You know, it doesn't move that quickly, and so we're sitting around, and so Curtis and I we're playing chess, and then we're playing checkers, and then we're playing cards, and we're just kind of making ourselves laugh with all the little things we're doing, and all of a sudden we're doing bits. So out of that, just us waiting and having fun with each other, we come up with these different kind of bits between Takashi and Booger. We called Jeff Canoe over and said, hey, what do you think of this? And from that point on, it was just kind of history that he allowed us the latitude to go and kind of create a whole bunch of stuff. Go ahead.
You know, my memory of that is a little different, because what happened, what I remember from that was, we had gotten to our cots. He was going to go and shoot Tony and Bobby in the shower, which was actually set up to shoot. So he was going there, and we had the cards. And as he was walking past, he said, sort of over his shoulder, he said, you guys are next, come up with something. And disappeared.
Yeah.
And then you and I, that's my memory.
No, actually,
you and I
you know
came
what?
up.
That actually, now it's kind of coming back. Yes.
So we had to then, when he was finished with Bobby and Tony, he came back and we auditioned the scene, and he went, set it up, and that was it. And then every time, as Brian says, every time we did a scene, they would have us do something.
Well, also
We would
the
just
card
come
thing
up with it.
became a through line for you guys.
Yeah, we did a second one at the Nerd House.
Yeah,
Right.
which was just, no.
And the painting of the
The wall.
of the
Yeah.
wall. and
Oh,
all
that was-
The Wonder
I mean,
Joint.
We just got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
All that was never in the script.
right, all this stuff was not in the script.
Yeah.
Don, I know you were excluded from all the parties and things like that. I
They
know.
didn't let me play with them.
You feel terrible for you, but,
It was
Not
horrible.
true.
yep. But do you have at least one happy memory
Okay.
of your time on set?
Let me tell you this, these guys are gonna go,
It's childhood.
I'm talking now, man. Okay. My favorite memory is having these guys as my friends since 1984, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. These guys are the most wonderful people you'd ever meet, and I'm fortunate to have them as my friends. That's my best memory.
That's a good memory.
Okay, you guys crying?
Yeah.
I lied.
I got chills.
That would have been such a great way to end this, but we still have 20 minutes to go. So remember that, say it again. Did you know? When you were filming it, did you know at some point that this was going to be something special, that this was going to take off the way that it did?
Well, we didn't know it was going to take off, but we knew that something special was happening.
Yeah.
Because the camera records more than just images. It records thought and feeling, and all that stuff gets captured by the camera. And we had it in spades, and they were filming it. So the way it felt on set, even if it hadn't gone through the roof like it did, I think we'd have been very, fulfilled and satisfied.
One of the things that Bobby referred to earlier was that no one wanted to do this movie. Because when we got the script, it was called Revenge of the Nerds, and it was a rough version of the script, which was rewritten subsequently and then improvised on top of that. So when we're on the set, we are having a great time. And we think this is really turning out a lot better. No one was thinking, God, here we are doing Revenge of the Nerds. We really were into it. And then when we finally saw the finished product, we were knocked out. I mean, we had gone completely around and realized that what we had was something that really was speaking to people. And it was just so different from how we had started.
I remember when we went to the sneak preview, there was a line around the theater, and this is pre-social media, so how did everybody find out that this sneak preview was happening? And I brought my dad with me, who was famously a Shakespearean actor. And after the movie was over and the lights came up, I said, well, what do you think, Dad? He says, well, son, it's not Shakespeare.
Was that before or after you did Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, John Carradine, the famous John Carradine, is his father. Yeah. Well, and you know what's interesting about Nerds also, and I think what really made an impact for a lot of us and why we're still like love each other is that when you do a film, generally a studio will bring you in, if you're on location, we were in Tucson, Arizona, they'll bring you in and you just do your stuff and you're out of there. This was really unusual. 20th Century Fox and the producers, they had this brilliant idea of bringing the principal cast in 3 weeks prior to principal photography. So the thought was that we can bond, work out whatever scenes or whatever might be needed. But basically we were together as friends. We bonded 3 weeks prior to shooting. And I think that made all the difference in the world because they don't do that anymore. It's just way too expensive. So we were blessed in that regard too.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we were all on location the whole time.
Right.
You know, like let's say you didn't work for a couple of days, you were still on location. And unlike most films, when you weren't working, you'd go to the set anyway, because it was such a great set. Of course, I was on the set every day.
It's tough to be the star.
Well, also, your boy's haircut,
Yeah,
when you and Tony got there, because you got there before we did.
yeah, yeah. And also, the script said that Lewis had a honking laugh. And I kind of, you know, I'm a procrastinator, and I hadn't really come up with a honking laugh. And it's the day before we're going to start shooting. We're having kind of a kickoff party. And I go over to the director, Jeff Canoe, and I say, hey, man, I don't have this laugh, man. I don't know what to do. He says, well, here, look at this. And he put in a tape of Jamie Cromwell, the actor that played my father. And he's doing the laugh on this audition tape. So I met him at this party, and I said, man, your laugh is damaged. He said, that's not my laugh. I came up with that for the character. I said, really? What, it's a technique? He said, yeah. I said, oh, you got to teach it to me, man. So that's where I got the laugh.
How does it go, Bobby?
There it is.
There it is.
Speaking of laughs, it was very unique almost to each one of you, it seemed, the laughs that you had. Did anybody else have a laugh that they had to work on? I know that Ogre had a laugh that he was still working on at the end of Nerds in Paradise.
He's working on it now.
I'm not real quick. You know,
But, like, I don't know. Do you have a laugh that you had to work on, or did you just laugh and it was just Louis Skolnick that had to really worry about that?
I mean, Lewis
Wait,
is
me?
the one that's
Yeah.
got the laugh.
He's got
No,
the
that laugh I have in the film is a technique. That's not how I laugh.
That's what he wants you to think.
you're one of them method actors, eh, brother?
That's right. Still in part.
I didn't have a laugh per se, but I was supposed to do the belching contest. And,
That was wrong.
no. What?
No.
And so I had been told that what they were going to do was I had to pretend to belch because it was so long and so ridiculous that they would dub it in later. And so they, when we shot the scene, I'm up there and I'm just doing, you know, and that was it. And then we found out subsequently, Tim Busfield had been in the studio while they were doing dubs at the end, after the movie was over. And they had been racking their brains trying to find a belch that was disgusting enough. And they couldn't find a human being who could do it. And so they wound up going to recordings of wild animals. And they found a recording of a camel orgasming. It was a recording of two camels mating, and it was the moment, and one of the
By the moment you even.
It was a long
I'll explain it later. And
I don't know.
well, no, tell you, just calm down. I'll tell you about it later. I know. He's got so much to learn. And so they found this camel orgasm recording, and that is primarily what you're hearing. And so I hate to burst your bubbles.
Once again, that would have been a great way to end this panel discussion, but we still have more time. So, you got on set, all right? You're meeting all these people for the first time, and this is for everybody except that guy at the end.
Ooh.
Yes. You see Ogre for the first time. 5 words or less. What's your first thought when you see Ogre?
I could hit that.
I think everybody in this audience can agree with
Oh
that.
my God, I wish I would have known that.
Yeah, I looked at him, I said, oh shit.
Why'd they hire a stuntman?
You know, looking back, I can't even imagine anybody else playing that role than Don Gibb here. And you know what's so kind of cool about Don is he's like also the antithesis of what you think Ogre would be. The guy has got the sweetest heart you'll ever. I shouldn't have told on him, but I'm telling you.
They're ruining my image, man.
Yeah, he does though. I tell you.
They're killing me.
There's a story that I think was kind of interesting. Coming on set, you reminded me. There was a scene where Takashi, we're in the games, the Greek games, and Takashi is in this tricycle race, right? Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
And basically what it is, Takashi has to go around in a tricycle, but every time he goes around, he takes a beer. So, so we get to set, and we filmed in beautiful sunny Tucson, Arizona, in their big arena there. And so for the principal actors, we get on set, and the prop man, I meet the prop man, and he goes, okay, we can dress for the scene, we can dress sodas and make it look like beer, or you can have some cold beers if you want. You know. And then, what, are you stupid? Of course I want some cold beers. It's a hot day, we're filming, and of course. And so, you forget that when you film, there's this take, and this take, and this take, and this take, and that's just one shot. Then the next shot, they do this take, and this take. Well, they have fresh, new, cold beers every time, right? And Takashi is supposed to take this pill called trichloromethylene, which counteracts all the effects of alcohol in your system. Well, there's just no such thing as trichloromethylene. So I take this sugar pill that Tim puts in my eye.
That's funny.
And so I'm doing these scenes, and every time I'm sucking down these beers, these luscious cold beers. By the end of the shoot, I am all over the place. And if you see, when I think it's Bobby and I think Tony and Bobby are carrying me around the track, and you see my face going like that, you know why it's like that. Anyway, that was a fun memory.
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Andrew.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
You had alluded to this before, but you were pretty young when this movie was filmed, and it was, everybody was fairly young at the time, but you were
I was
young.
definitely the youngest.
So on set, what was that like interacting with these adults that were on that set?
I was
things?
excited to be a part of it. I'm doing a movie, and I'm thinking this is an amazing experience. But everybody on set, with all these guys, were really great to me. They were like big brothers, and they kind of took care of me and were joking around with me. When you're a kid, I mentioned that you have to have your parents there or whatever, but you also have to get tutored on set, and that was a drag because you gotta sit in school and read whatever and do your fucking excuse me, sorry about that. And It's
an R-rated movie, we know.
I didn't get
Bad
a good
boy.
education.
Bad boy.
But I do remember, like, on a few occasions, and they always wanted to put me in school, probably to keep me from seeing anything that was going on, you know. But I remember one time they took pity on me, and they were like, "Oh, the AD's coming around to find you. Get in the trailer. Hey, have you seen Andrew? No, we don't know where he is. No idea. All right, coast is clear. Come out, kid." So it was that kind of relationship, and they really looked after me.
I have a question for Andrew. It just occurred to me that scene of the party at the Nerd House, where you're standing between the two moos.
Yes.
And I mean, what was your? Did you have any clue how funny that was?
I
what
mean,
it was that was going on there?
I didn't think of it like that. I just thought, oh, this is my thing. I gotta get my lines right. I want this to be good, you know. So I was working. I was a serious. It's hard work. It's very hard work. But there was later on when we're watching we're supposed to be watching the panty raid on TV or whatever, and there's nothing on TV or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's a light with somebody a grip, you know, flipping a switch. But I remember there was some controversy about, oh, how much are we going to let him see? What's he going to all this stuff? And I was just like, oh God, just let me see everything. What is this? Like, come on. So that was my attitude about it.
So funny.
All right, I would adore to keep asking you questions. I mean, I'm so curious about, you know, life after the movie and what this movie has afforded you. But all these fine people are here, and I'm just wondering if anybody here has a question for the cast of Revenge of the Nerds. And if you don't, I'll ask more of them because I'm so interested. All right, I'm going to come up with the mic for a few questions. Let's see. Go right ahead.
When did you guys first realize it really blew up Revenge of the Nerds in the public eye? When you walked down the street, hey, it's nerds, hey, it's booger, hey, it's ogre. When did it just blow up in your face?
Well,
like, wow, next level.
The first hint of that was the sneak preview. When the film went through the roof, we thought, I think we might have a hit. Yeah.
Well, you were in Westwood when you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a tough movie town to, you know, films die on the first weekend if you don't have people, you know, coming to it. But Bob was there on the preview times, and he saw these lines, and that kind of gave an indication, I guess, you know?
I saw a preview uptown Manhattan, preview, or maybe it was like the premiere or whatever. I went there with my whole family, actually, like extended people. I was like, oh, this is gonna be embarrassing. But I remember when UN Jefferson comes out at the end, and hold it right there, the theater just erupted, like people, like it lifted off the ground, like 5 people were ecstatic. They just were amazed, and so that's when I was like, wow, this is really, they're really loving this.
Yeah. We had them in our.
Yeah.
Hi, UN.
And also the thing about that scene is that by this time you've forgotten that Lambda 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 is a black fraternity.
Right.
And all of a sudden, all these fraternity guys are sitting there like this, and each one's bigger than Ogre. I mean, it's like, oh wow, oh yeah, it's a great moment.
All right, we have another question up here in the center.
Hi, I saw a ton of movies in theaters last year, and maybe 2 of them were comedies. Why do you think in modern age that there's just a lack of comedies that are coming out, you know, such like Revenge of the Nerds? What do you think the reason behind that is?
Well, I think one of the reasons is that when we did Nerds, we played it for real. We didn't try to be funny. We played it for real. I remember when you guys all went to Daly's. That's when you look at the film from the day before. And I was waiting outside the Daly's room because I didn't want to go in and see myself as the nerd. I couldn't handle it. So they came out and they said, oh, we get it. I go, what? You're playing it for real? I said, yeah, they don't know they're nerds. And I think that's what makes a comedy work, is if the players in the film are playing real people that don't know. And it just seems like the comedies today, they're just trying to be funny, and it's not funny.
All right.
Yeah.
We have another question right over here. I'm going to hand you the microphone. You're welcome.
There were some big names in that movie, but do you guys have any memories of working with John Goodman or Ted McGinley?
Oh yeah, Ted McGinley was a total dick.
Not really, not really.
Ted McGinley's a sweetheart.
That will be the quote.
But we didn't know that he was a full-on sweetheart in the first Nerds. We really didn't know that. He played, he was standoffish, so we didn't really know him that
He
well.
was doing the same thing we were all doing. He was trying to be Stan. That was his thing, and
He killed it too.
he really did, and he was terrific.
Well, in real life, actually, he is kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
He's got the heart of a nerd.
Yeah.
He really does.
He's more of a nerd than an alpha beta, definitely.
For sure.
And
For
I don't really, John Goodman was very
There's
busy,
a difference there, yeah.
very, very busy partying.
I partied with John Goodman.
We all, that John was, there's
He was
another class
so
of
fun.
partying. John is fun.
So
Fun. Too many stories. Fun.
That is another panel discussion.
Yeah.
All right. We have one more question, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, there you go, it better be a good one.
I don't know how good it is.
No
This
pressure.
will be for Don.
It better be for me, damn it, choose your question.
I gotta think. All right. No, this is great. I appreciate it. I have so many questions. Mine's really for Julia and Robert. The scene in the carnival when Julia thought that the character thought that her boyfriend was behind the mask.
Right.
Do you get a lot of kickback about that now? Do you
Yes.
hear about it more often
Well,
than
the
not?
thing, I keep reading about how it's rape by deception. And I'm thinking,
So disgusting.
no, she liked it.
Oh, Robert. Buddy, save us. Save us, buddy. Save us.
Yeah, well,
She liked
she
it.
did like it, and that was a problem. But I think,
Oh, my God.
I just mean in the scene, in the
Oh, my God.
scene.
We gotta go now, fans. Thank you very
I
much.
think,
We will be in prison here and come to see us.
I think the other problem was that Jeff, I placed this on our wonderful directors. Like, why didn't we do a take where, like, I slap you or throw you off the moon bounce or
Well,
something?
you looked upset for about a second.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Get that shovel out, fellas.
It's hard to explain it to, in current time. I definitely hear both sides of it, but he was really good.
Now, that's really all he wanted to hear.
We gotta go now and sign autographs and take money, so you people get the hell out.
I do want to thank all of you for being here. It's an incredible experience for our museum. We're a little not-for-profit, and you being here is just a dream for us, so thank you so much. I'm a nerd, and I've been a nerd for
You're
most of my life.
kidding.
Yep. And you changed what the definition of a nerd is. So on behalf of a lot of nerds, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Hey,